You've got 5 seconds to subscribe and like the video, or Booga will hunt you in every game. Hey, what up guys, Ark here, back again with a brand new video. So for today's video boys, I've been challenged yet again in the comments to build a really good PC which will run ultra games in 144 FPS for up to $400. Boys, I do deliver every single time, so here you go, the PC itself. So for the very first thing, here you go boys, it's the GPU. It's an RX 554 gigs. You can have a Google yourself, it's a really powerful GPU. It's a really budget GPU, hence the price is $114. But boys, it will handle every single game on ultra. That means Fortnite is an easy to run game and it will run in 144 FPS on at least high to epic settings. So that's a really good part, and that's why I chose this GPU for this build. This GPU is actually very small, as you can see by the picture. So yeah, there you go, only one fan fits. But boys, don't worry, I'm sure this fan is enough to cool off this beast. But yeah, it's not like an RTX 3090, which is like super big, like even bigger than 30 centimeters, I think. No, this is actually like maybe 10 to 15 centimeters, maybe even 17, who knows, I don't know. Probably says so in specifications below. But boys, yeah, it is a really small GPU, it's really powerful and it's great. You might have already chosen a case, and that case is not that really big, so it might be a budget case or an older case you're already using. So choosing a smaller type of GPU doesn't impact performance at all, so it's like a really good thing it's small. I had one of the smaller GPUs one time when I was a kid, and boys, it was a beast. As you can see, it's a Red Dragon, which is actually pretty good in the RX series kind of companies, so yeah, that's really good. You do have to know what components you're getting for your PC, because look here, we've got a display port, an HDMI and DVI port, and that means that you can only have 3 monitors, and none of them are like kind of from the same generation where you can actually connect them. So basically, HDMI will probably be your main monitor, and then your second monitor will probably be a display port. You will have difficulties connecting 3 monitors, but believe me boys, I don't think you really need 3 monitors. You might need them, but I don't know. You can get a third monitor through an adapter, so I'm sure there are adapters from DisplayPort to this here, and you can actually buy that for like maybe $5 off eBay or Amazon even. So yeah, not a super big deal breaker, but yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, 2 monitors, no sweat at all. Here you go, smaller type GPU, perfect for our build. Let's get on to the next component. Jesus, will you believe me if I say that my electricity ran out, so I had to reconnect it, boys, but we're back again, so no problem at all. Let's get into it. So the processor is an i3, and it's a 10th gen processor. It is an LGA 1200 socket, so that's really important if you're buying a motherboard or processor of your own type. Make sure that it's on this socket here, because that's the socket that I chose for my motherboard with this build. One little way to actually check this socket is not only the title but also the gen of the processor. So as you can see here, it's 10th gen, that's why it has 10 at the very start. So 9th gen will just have a 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever. And that's one way you can actually get the socket types, and they are corresponding to that as well. i3 is actually a really good processor. Let me tell you why. It has 4 cores and they are 4.3 gigahertz. It's a really good processor. I know that back in the day, i3s, i5s, i7s, really top of the line gamers had i7s. And then medium gamers had i5s, and then i3s were also super playable, because under i3s you have like Xeons or whatever, like even lower processors, Celerons, all that bad stuff. Well, not bad stuff, but they are on the lower spectrum, and i3 is actually a really medium good processor, so it will fit nicely with our build, and it's also a really good combo with our Radeon GPU. It is $122, so here you go. But boys, also you get a cooler with it, so that's really important. You get a really good cooler. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like a Cooler Master, which is one of the best brands, considering they are fan-based and not like water cooling. What happened? Why is it like even Intel has coolers now included in their packaging? My processor did not come with a cooler. So that's actually really dope, and it's like, it's even a budget build and you get a cooler with it. It's dope, saves us a lot of money, so that's really cool. if you will be buying a processor of your own type, make sure again that the socket is really good and it teams up, and also not the socket alone. The motherboard might have the socket, but it might not support the actually gen of your processor. So two things: the socket and the gen of your processors have to be compatible with the motherboard if you're choosing of your own, like your own processor and then your own motherboard, if you will be going that way. So up next we have the actual motherboard itself. Here you go, boys. It's an H410MS2H, whatever that means. So yeah, there you go, the socket type LGA 1200. That's the socket that we need. And it also supports, as you can see, DDR4 RAM. So very quickly about the RAM has to be compatible as well. So we are getting a DDR4 motherboard, meaning DDR4 RAM. DDR3 RAM is also available, but it's really old and it's like on the older type of motherboards and CPUs. So 10th gen CPU, and then also the motherboard on the new socket type will not have a DDR3. But again, if you're building something of your own, an older type of computer, but maybe a little bit more powerful, whatever you find, you might have to buy a DDR3. Just make sure that you do have this option. If you will be upgrading even more RAM, or you think of using your current RAM in your current PC with this build, so then make sure it's actually DDR4, because again, DDR4 and DDR3 are not compatible and they are different. Remember, boys, we've got a really small GPU, so that's why I chose a micro ATX. That means it's a micro motherboard. As you can see here, it's one of the smaller type of motherboards again, so it would fit in any single case that you would like to get, if not this one that I will be showing you. So it is a really small motherboard with a really small GPU, so everything fits nicely and tight together. I'm looking here myself, and the processor size itself is like 1/5 of the motherboard, and it's like, it is crazy because like, yeah, it is a really small motherboard, and the GPU will fit nicely in one of these spots right here, which is really nice. And then, boys, do you see these two sockets right here? And then they're going into these like kind of screw type of things. This is where your SSD will go if you choose to get one. So yeah, this right here, you can get 2 SSDs, so 2 terabytes, whatever you buy, really good. One very last important thing I do want to mention is the memory. So 64 gigs right here, that's the limit. So listen very carefully, 64 gigabytes of RAM is the limit for this computer. I don't know why you want to buy even 64 or even more for this kind of budget medium size build, because like it is like a medium PC. It's not the best of the best with an RTX 3090 and all of that good stuff, but yeah, just don't go over 64 gigs of RAM and you'll be good, boys. So yeah, again, the motherboard supports only 10th gen processors, as it says right here. So yeah, this is where you get your information for your motherboard, CPU, whatever, if they are compatible. And this is very compatible, but please don't try buying a 10th gen or whatever AMD processor. That will not work. The socket type will be completely different. And here comes the beast memory, boys. 37 gigs for 8 gigabyte stick. That's a really good deal. And why 8 gigabytes and why only 1 stick? And that's because we can upgrade it later. So if we buy 1 stick right now, we still have 1 PCI slot in the motherboard to get 1 more stick and actually upgrade our RAM overall. So yeah, 1 8 gigabyte stick is really enough for Fortnite. 2666 speed is actually really good as well. It's not on lower end and it's not super high, but it's enough. And 8 gigs again, it's enough for Fortnite, it's enough for streaming, for YouTube, for everything. And one really important thing, if you boys will be upgrading your RAM or using like maybe your old PC RAM in this new build, do pay attention to this DDR4 mark right here. Our motherboard supports DDR4 RAM, and we are buying DDR4 RAM. If you currently have DDR3, then that won't fit on this motherboard and it will not work at all. There is no way to get your DDR3 RAM and DDR4 RAM to work together, and there is no way to actually insert the DDR3 RAM alone into the DDR4 motherboard. So yeah, that's one thing you have to look out for when buying RAM. One cool thing is that if you read the name of the RAM backwards, it says YOLO. Anyway, boys, enough about that. The reason I chose this RAM is because it fits perfectly with our build. Not only will you be able to upgrade the RAM, but also it doesn't cost a lot and it's really good. And finally, boys, for the beast itself, it's the case. So this bad boy will hold everything together, and as you can see, it has some sick ass RGB lights. Like, look at this. fans, 1, 2, 3, 4 fans, including this one here that we can't see. That's a really good airflow, and it also looks sick. I mean, look at it from the outside. It has a glass panel on the side. You can see right through it. It's a white overall case with like a grill part here. It just looks sick. So it does cost $29.99, which is a really good price for a case. Overall, all cases usually cost like 30, 40, 50, 60, and even 100 bucks. This bad boy costs 30, so it's on the lower spectrum, but boys, it looks sick. Like, no way it's a lower spectrum. Look at this, it's amazing. So yeah, at the time of recording this video, this case is still on sale and it is in stock, so I highly recommend you get this one. It will fly off the shelves like this. I don't know why, but gamers just love white cases. Oh, they also have a black case here, as you can see, the black version. So if the white version is not available, then you can get the black version, or you can just get another case. But yeah, it is really important, guys, if you are buying your own case, that you don't get like a mid or higher tower. So this is a mid, that's fine actually, but like an ATX high or big or whatever, that's gonna be too big. Our motherboard is actually mini, so we can actually buy ATX mini or small, so a little bit smaller case. So if you didn't know, cases are divided into 3 levels. So 1 is a midi, 2 is a mid tower, and then 3 is a high or big. Our motherboard that I chose is actually a small, so a mid tower will fit it perfectly. And also, don't forget that our GPU is super small. It has 1 single fan. It's so small and it's so good. It's a really good buy. But yeah, again, you don't want a really big case because your PC will just look kind of empty inside. But if you get like a mid or even a small case, then it will look dope. So yeah, be sure to get the small or the mid tower. But boys, this is it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, because I upload daily content. And boys, also February is the month I'm starting daily uploads. I have something very spicy and very good for you to check out. So my videos are coming up very soon. I'm back in the grind, baby. We're in it. Let's go. If you want to also support the grind, then make sure to share this video with your friends who need a better PC, because come on boys, this is a good 144 FPS build PC for only 400 bucks. 400 bucks, full HD gaming on ultra, etc. on low at 144 FPS, boys. It's a steal. It's a really good price. The gameplay that you will see in this video in Fortnite is recording on this like PC. So the FPS I will be showing in the video is the FPS you'll be getting on this PC. So yes, it is a beast, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace. Hey guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy and find it useful. If you want to join my future Battle Pass and V-Box giveaways, do make sure to easily apply by subscribing and leaving a comment with your Fortnite username. I will be choosing 5 random people in the near future for weekly gifts. Peace.